you don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history.
People needed to listen that, yes, democracy matters, but if you can't pay your bills, it's hard to care about something as nebulous as democracy.
If you're going to be complicit in supporting Donald Trump and even working for him, like Marco Rubio, for example, you have to erase it.
The Danville elites are back from vacation, ready to expose all the hypocrisy of the left. We begin with Kamala Harris trying to sell the narrative of democratic fragility. So, get ready for an analysis that doesn't fear the truth. And that promises to unmask and put an end to the entire narrative of this liberal media showing you all the truth. We start with Kamala Harris trying to sell the narrative of democratic fragility. Now the question is, are we facing yet another political manipulation? As you can see, now the question is, are we facing yet another political manipulation?
And it's the fourth-year anniversary of the D.C. rally based on false claims of election fraud that blew up into the January 6, 2021 insurrection. Now, hours from now, Vice President Harris will fulfill her duty to certify the 2024 election. And she gave this message to the American people. Take a look.
The peaceful transfer of power is one of the most fundamental principles of American democracy. Today at the United States Capitol, I will perform my constitutional duty as Vice President of the United States to certify the results of the 2024 election. As we have seen, our democracy can be fragile, and it is up to then each one of us to stand up for our most cherished principles.
President Biden also penned an op-ed warning about the unrelenting effort to rewrite and even erase the history of that day. So is that what happened here? I mean, we all watched.
Yep.
I think most of us saw. I mean, some folks still say that's not what happened, but you know, but what do we do?
As you can see, Kamala Harris talks about democracy, but does she and her party really respect the values that founded this nation? We need to stay alert about the narratives of fear they use to control the American people, starting with Sunni, who wants the American public to believe that January 6th was the worst moment in history. But is this an attempt to really overshadow the key moments and the issues we're facing? And while the left only focuses on the past, the truth is that the American people are concerned about the present and the future. But is this an attempt to really overshadow the key moments and the issues we're facing?
I think we need to find moral clarity, you know, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, you know, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, you know, like World War II, things that happened, you know, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
I want to ask you, Alyssa, because watching your evolution, when you look back, what goes through your mind?
I've been thinking a lot about this. I'll always be proud of Mike Pence for doing the right thing, but it's also an incredibly low bar. It's simply fulfilling the Constitution, just as Kamala Harris is going to do today, as Al Gore did before her. People have lost, and they've put the Constitution over their political ambitions. I have to say, I think
And while the left only focuses on the past, the truth is that the American people are concerned about the present and the future. Next, you will see the sandpaper informing us about ignored signals. But do they really understand what the people truly want? But do they really care about what the people want?
I think there were warning signs, though, that we would be where we are today. And most Americans were not comfortable with January 6th. They thought it was bad. They thought it was awful. But for 4 years, they said, guys, we are hurting. The cost of living is too high. We are concerned about the border. I predicted here 6 months ago we were careening to Donald Trump's inauguration. People needed to listen that, yes, democracy matters, but if you can't pay your bills, it's hard to care about something as nebulous as democracy. And I think that the warning signs were were there. And I say this with due respect to Joe Biden. I didn't disagree with a word he said in that op-ed, but people were saying, we have concern about your age. He waited till August and then gave Kamala Harris this runway to run for president. All the warning signs were there. This was Democrats. They had the chance to stop Donald Trump from being inaugurated. And here we are. But I hope people don't. I hope the whitewashing of January 6th ends. It wasn't right. It never will be, no matter how much people lie about it. But this was avoidable in my mind.
When I think that
It's true that these women ignore the needs of the average citizen. It's easy to talk about democracy, right? When you're not struggling to pay your bills, yeah, but what really matters to them is putting America first, right? Sear wants us to remember January 6th anyway. But should we forget the freedom that is being taken from
I
us?
think that it's an important thing is to commemorate it every year in a way, not to compare it to 9/11, because, again, it's not an equivalent, but there are people alive today, including my niece, that didn't know 9/11. So when you talk to anyone that was alive during that time, you have a visceral fear response that takes you back there. January 6th and watching the videos that were playing out on screen, it shook you to the core.
Absolutely.
There will be a time when people will not know this unless they read about it, unless they're taught it. And hopefully we continue to show video every year on January 6th, because I won't tell you how to feel. You just watch that video and you tell me what you see. And I think it's also a reminder of how political and partisan the country's gotten to a dangerous point, because there's got to be an out of bounds, regardless of what party you're on. And I know a ton of people that are not rewriting this, that may have voted for Donald Trump, that are lifelong Republicans, who still say January 6th was a disgrace. So it is one thing that we can all agree on and need to remember every anniversary.
What do you think, Anna?
The real danger is taking away the freedom of expression regarding the narrative, claiming it's about security and control. The truth is that we cannot allow fear to be used to silence us. Anna praises the January 6th committee, but are they really seeking the truth? Or is it just another political witch hunt? Check it out.
I'm incredibly grateful to the January 6th committee. I'm incredibly grateful to the members of that committee, including Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, the two Republicans who agreed to serve on it, because no matter how much they try to rewrite it, erase it, whitewash it, just lie about it, the truth is in that report, and it will stand. It will stand the test of time. I'm also very grateful to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for putting democracy first, Constitution first. A few days ago, Kamala Harris was swearing in as vice president. She swears in the newly elected senators. It included senators like Ted Cruz. It included senators like Dave McCormick from Pennsylvania, who attacked her. But you see, it's not about her. It's about the Constitution.
And every vice president does that.
It's, you know, and she's going to perform her duty today. And she's not just the vice president. She's also the woman who lost to Donald Trump. But she is a mature adult, not a toddler having a tantrum. She is a leader who understands that it is country first. She's going to go to the swearing in and watch him swear in, unlike
Something that he did not do.
in 4 years.
I think we've been missing something, if I could say real quick.
Everyone knows, right, that these committees are more about political gain than about justice, right? We need to question the truth and its intentions and not accept everything blindly.
We're missing something in the moment, though. I heard from a lot of people, because I've testified before the committee, I've testified before the Department of Justice. I met a lot of people who were like, we'll never like January 6th. It was never okay, but they were still voting on the issues that impact them the most. And I think it's very hard if someone says, I had more money when this person was in office, to say, but you have to care about democracy, or you have to care about the attack on the Capitol.
Well, you do, because if you don't have a democracy, you're not going to be getting you're not going to get the I mean, we'll never probably ever agree on this, because Joe Biden, you know, the guy who's in now is now the oldest cat. I haven't heard anybody say anything about his cognitive.
I did throughout the whole campaign. I said they're both too old.
Well, you know, but to say he should have gotten out earlier, I don't know that anybody knows when somebody should have done something. That's all now. For me, it's all in the past. The things that were concerning these folks did not concern me, and the things that were concerning me did not concern these folks. So there were lots of reasons why this happened. I just say it happened, and now we move forward. However, I do want to say that with all this attempt to erase stuff, you're really hoping that people are going to willingly be stupid.
As you can see, the left wants us to believe that only they have the answer. But then the question remains, Who is really listening to the people? The truth is that we need leadership that is connected to the real needs of Americans. Sunni raises the threat of presidential pardons. But isn't your speech just another straw man to divert our attention?
You want people to, because there's a lot to really take in here. There's the fact that you've been 12, indictments. I mean, there's a lot to,
so many. 34.
You know,
Yeah, a
so
lot.
there's a lot that you will want people to
34
forget.
counts. Can I ask
Yeah.
you, Whoop,
Yeah.
what do you think will happen with this country when and if Donald Trump fulfills his promise to exonerate, basically, and pardon those that committed crimes, including assaulting police officers on January 6th? He says he's going to do that on day one.
Yeah, well,
in an effort to basically erase what happened.
I know, but you know, this is what he says he's going to do. Let us see if he is able to do it. I don't know that he's going to be able to do it, or how it's going to sit with the American people.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part for him.
Yes.
Because he doesn't know
how people
how
will
people
react
are
to
going
that.
to react.
You know what's incredibly ironic, though, is that a lot of these people, a lot of these elected Republicans who are trying to erase January 6th, there's video of them on January 7th and January 6th at night condemning Donald Trump.
They have forgotten. They have forgotten. They woke up and it was like, where am I? Who am I?
They have conveniently forgotten, because if you're...
As you can clearly see, Trump's promises are indeed seen as a significant threat to the left. But isn't that really what Americans need right now, at this moment? Now, Anna talks about hypocrisy, but is she looking in the mirror?
Because if you're going to be complicit in supporting Donald Trump and even working for him, like Marco Rubio, for example, you have to erase it. Because if not, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am a hypocrite.
What we have to do is we have to make a decision that we're going to watch and see and react when there is a reason to react. Until you know what you're pissed at, you're not pissed at anything. You're just going like this. And you don't want to do that because your neck will go out.
The hypocrisy is in the politicians who switch sides according to the wind. We need leaders who stand firm in their convictions and truly represent the people. The fight for freedom and justice continues. We can't be fooled by this hypocrisy from the left and their narrative to make the people believe that only they have the answer. And you, what did you think of this video? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to share your opinion. Both you and your opinion are very important to me. Thank you all so much. Just don't forget to share this video with as many people as you can. Leave a like to support the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Let's all stand together with Donald Trump like America. Better.